Hello, welcome to 80/20 Life Fit Academy. My name is Joan Geisler. I am the founder and director of coaching operations. Today we are going to talk about how to develop healthy life habits. I'm recording this outside on my deck on a beautiful summer evening, so if you hear some outdoor noises, that's where I am, that's what's going on. So let's get going here. We're going to talk about how routine establishes habits and establishes willpower. In order to create a life of abundant health, vitality, and purpose, we must first create healthy life habits. So, what is a habit? We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. It's from Aristotle. So how do habits work? Habits actually save our lives. If we had to spend the brain energy learning and then relearning everything we do, we would be exhausted. That is why so much of the activities we do in a single day are sheer habits. Let's look at this graphic. Habits are important. Up to 90% of our everyday behavior is based on habit. Nearly all of what we do every day, each and every day, is simply habit. So what does your morning routine look like? Notice tomorrow morning how much of what you do is a habit, and how many of those habits would you like to change? Do you sleep to the last minute and then rush? Do you skip breakfast and then fight and argue with those in your household? How are we going to make habits stick? First, you have to believe, in order to make a habit stick, that you have to believe that you can make a new habit. You do have a choice. You are not a slave to your habit. First, make our habits, and then our habits make us. There is this habit loop that psychologists have developed. A trigger, response, and reward. A trigger or a cue or a visual aid, we create an object that will trigger, that will remind us to do that which to do that which you want to develop into a habit. And then we're going to respond to that trigger. When you see that trigger, force yourself to do the habit. And then have a reward. Predetermine the reward you will receive when the habit has reached certain milestones and then upon completion. So, for example, I am rolling out my shoulders. My shoulders are stiff and achy, so I'm rolling them out on a small baseball. So I have put that baseball in front of my TV console so that in the evenings when I'm relaxing and chilling out in the end of the day, I see that ball that triggers my habit that I want to create. So I must respond to it. I must force myself then to grab the ball, lie on the floor, and roll out my shoulders. And what's the reward? The reward is that my shoulders feel so much better. And sometimes the reward might have to be a purchased thing, or the reward is just by doing the habit itself. Perhaps that trigger is that you put your tennis shoes by your bed so that when you wake up in the morning, you put them on, get your clothes on, get your exercise clothes on, and you're ready to exercise. But it is the force. So once you see your cue, once you see your trigger, then you force yourself to respond and then choose a reward. Some of the habits we want to do is to establish keystone habits. What are keystone habits? They are the most essential habits that you can develop. Keystone habits lead to development of multiple good habits. They start a chain reaction in your life that produces a number of positive outcomes. So like this little graphic here, small daily improvements are the key to staggering long-term results. We want small little habits. Like I said, so small habits. Let's start small. Many small actions can lead up to a lifetime of good habits. You don't have to change dozens of habits to get to your goal. You only have to change a few keystone habits that will then have a ripple effect on your outcome. Keystone habits create a chain reaction. They have 3 characteristics. They give you small victories. They serve as the soil from which other habits will grow, and they will give you the energy and the confidence to do more. They are the key to your habits. You can break free from bad habits that enslave you. You do not have to live as if you are enslaved. So let's pick a keystone habit. For example, say that you want your keystone habit to be getting 8 hours of sleep every night. Your initial goal is to get more sleep, but the chain reaction is that you become more productive each day, you consume less junk food, you have more time to exercise, you have improved relationships with your spouse and your family and your friends because you're not cranky. At first, you just wanted to get more sleep, but that keystone habit generated a number of additional good habits. Yep. So you want to pick dynamic key habits. Dynamic does not have to be big, but dynamic just means impactful. So let's pick something impactful. Make your bed in the morning. Might influence you to pick up the clothes on the floor. Washing your dishes every morning might cause you to pack your lunch and prep for dinner. Cleaning the trash out of your car might inspire you to keep the house clean. Lacing up your sneakers when you get home from work or the first thing in the morning causes you to go for a walk or a run or head to the gym. Packing your gym bag and putting it in the front seat of your car will cause you to go to the gym after work. So they don't have to be big keystone habits, but they have to be impactful. Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to get into, but hard to get out of. Which brings us to willpower. You've heard it said that willpower is a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. The wonderful book, The Power of Habit, Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business by Charles Duhigg, he says, willpower is a muscle and it gets fatigued just like any muscle. If you have to use willpower all day long instead of a habit, you will be exhausted by the end of the day when it is when you need it the most. Like when you're trying to resist late night eating. So, how do we conserve willpower? Setting the day to make automatic good choices will free up the need to white knuckle it and use willpower. Why do I keep talking about the morning and setting up the day? It's because if you can get your morning right, if you can start your day in good habits and with willpower and routine, it sets up the rest of your day and then the rest of your life. So let's say you get up on time and you do not sleep until the last minute and you're not buying the junk food in the first place. And if you eat a nutritious breakfast and pack a lunch and you prepare your weekly meals ahead of time and you leave margin in your life for interruptions such as traffic and deadlines, therefore, you will have willpower left over from when you need it. So what is the best way to conserve your willpower? Through routines. Routines will help with willpower. A morning routine of good choices sets your day for success. So wake up on time or even early. Have everything ready the night before. Lay out your clothes, pack your lunch, put your keys next to the door, lay your shoes out, find your books, have everything ready the night before. Have breakfast prepared ahead of time, leave on time, or believe it or not, leave even early. If you break one link in that chain of bad habits, you will be free of the chain that enslaves you in a lifestyle of ill health, disease, weight problems, family strife, and so much more. Speaking of family strife, no, I'm just kidding. That's Thor, our next door neighbor dog. All right, little comic relief. Here is Calvin. We love Calvin. Every day it's the same old thing, but not today, he says, and he begins to walk out the door naked. Everybody's a slave to routine. I thought that was funny. Okay, willpower is a learned skill. Our brain communicates through neurotransmitters. When we learn something new, these transmitters begin to make a canal, a groove in our brain. Each time we do the new action, the groove gets stronger, deeper, and more well-worn. That is why we can drive to a familiar place and say to ourselves, geesh, how did I get here? Remember when we started using the computer? Emailing was difficult, cut, paste, all those things were so difficult, but the more we did it, the easier it got, and now it is mindless. It frees us up to think about other things, but these neurotransmitters have worn a deep groove between that mouse and your finger and Gmail and emailing and all those great things we do now without even thinking about it. So we establish a routine that creates habits, gives us more willpower. Routines turns into habits. Habits help the brain conserve thinking energy. Conservation does not need willpower. Therefore, establish a routine that leads to good lifestyle habits. You will conserve your willpower then. When you need it most, you will have abundant when you need it the most. Yep. All right, so let's review. How to create good lifestyle habits? Habits are activities we do without thinking. We might not even be aware of them, but once we notice them, we can change them. Remember the habit loop. Find a trigger. Find a visual aid that will cause you to make the response. Force yourself to respond to that trigger, and then have a reward prepared through milestones of creating this habit. And then, of course, at the end, when this is a well-established habit, buy yourself something, figure out what that reward is going to be. Create a keystone habit. Okay? This little tiny habit is going to lead to a chain reaction to multiple good habits. Routine helps strengthen your willpower, and willpower is a learned skill. So how are we going to live in victory? When you establish a routine, it forces yourself to do a good habit, which makes the willpower groove, which makes it easier to keep a routine of good habits, which conserves willpower energy, which makes routines a good habit, which gives you abundant willpower when you need it. See that big, glorious flywheel. This is just terrific. This is the basis for which 80/20 Life Fit Academy is based upon. This is the first lesson we're going to learn so that we can build upon lesson, creating good quality life habits so that we can live in victory, not be a slave to our cravings, to break free. This is excellent. I am here for you. You have any questions, any comments, do not hesitate to contact me. And we're going to be on this journey together. I'm very excited to start this program with you. Let me know how I can be of any help. Thank you very much. I look forward to speaking to you this week. Goodbye. Have a great day.